Before I begin today's topic, I want to send out a congratulations to Brisbane Lions for the first time in 21 years since 2003, winning the AFL Grand Final, defeating Sydney Swans. So, on to today's topic video. Hello wrestling fans, and welcome back to another video. And today, I know a lot of people are going to be getting a bit mad at me for this topic, but hey, I've talked about him enough times already. It's probably becoming a bit of a running joke at this point. I am going to be talking about Triple H, and I'll be talking about the problems I have with Triple H in charge. So, I want to make things perfectly clear to all of you. I want to make it very perfectly clear. This isn't like Vince. Me talking bad about Vince to the point where I want him completely removed from power. This is completely different. When I look at Triple H's booking, I look at it as these are things that he needs to fix. These are things that he needs to work on and needs to understand that there are some definite things he needs to improve on. The reason why I make this video because there was a channel called World of Geekdom who I have big respect for because I followed his content, and he made a video talking about the problems of Triple H, and the two topics that he brought up was Triple H not having enough challenges ready for guys like Gunther and Cody Rhodes, and how he didn't like that Sami Zayn was just given a title shot just because he beat Gunther at WrestleMania 40. And, I agree to what he had to say. But there are a lot more things that he left off that I feel are problems in the product of Triple H. And Triple H and how he handles the product is really turning me off from WWE. If he really wants me to be watching his product, there are definite some things that he needs to work on. Obviously, the tag team division. The men's and women's tag team divisions are both abominationally bad. Now I know that they announced that there will be a triple threat ladder match between DIY, the Bloodline, and the Street Profits next week on SmackDown, which again, I don't understand why they do not just put it on the pay-per-view. That match sounds like something that Bad Blood would have appreciated having, but no, let's just put it on an episode of SmackDown, because that is one of the biggest problems I have with Triple H. Him booking random championship matches on episodes of Raw with little to no build-up. He just thinks having championship matches on Raw or SmackDown will always put butts in seats. It'll always raise the stock and the ratings, when the ratings from Raw this week were not that great. While I don't care about ratings, because I've made it very clear before that I don't care about ratings, but for those who do care about ratings and tell me how ratings are important to how great the shows are, Raw had a very poor performance in the ratings for the first time in a long time. And they had Jey Uso win the Intercontinental Championship on that episode of Raw. So Raw's ratings plummeted really badly, despite the fact they had Jey Uso beat Braun Breaker. So you can't say putting championship matches on Raw and SmackDown really helps, the product, and really helps boost morale with their ratings. The other biggest problem with Triple H is how repetitive his booking is, how repetitive he makes things. Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, every single week we see them fighting each other. There's just no rhyme or reason to why they're feuding. It's just, they're feuding. It's just, they'd have a problem with each other. The whole feud started was because Carmelo Hayes didn't appreciate Andrade doing a big move on him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And basically, it's been going on for 2 months now. Money in the Bank was in July, and we're in September. Can we please move on from this, please? Triple H continuously has Andrade and Carmelo Hayes fight each other every single week. I remember fans hating Vince McMahon doing this. Even if the matches were good. Even if the matches were good and the crowds were enjoying it, Vince would always rehash the same matches every week and fans got bored of it. But for some reason, when Triple H does it, fans are okay with it and they eat it up. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how things change. It's ridiculous, and the fact that Triple H just continues to run this rivalry on and on and on is just atrociously bad. It is atrociously bad, and I do not care if Carmelo Hayes and Andrade are great wrestlers. I genuinely don't care. I genuinely don't care if they're great wrestlers. I'm tired of seeing these two fight each other. And now they've got LA Knight involved in it. Please, do we really need to involve LA Knight in all of this? What, is Carmelo Hayes going to win the United States title and now Carmelo Hayes and Andrade going to have more matches over the US title? It's ridiculous. Again, let's get back to the first topic I wanted to mention, the tag team divisions, and how I feel Triple H needs to improve the tag team divisions. But instead of him improving the tag team divisions, he decides to go through breakup storylines within the tag team divisions, like with A-Town Down Under, teasing Austin Theory turning face, while on Raw's side, you've got the New Day breaking up. Dude, we're supposed to be improving the division, not making it worse. We're supposed to be improving these divisions and making these divisions better, not making them worse by breaking up teams. Sure, I couldn't care less about Austin Theory, and yes, I didn't like Waller teaming with Austin Theory. Yeah, I didn't like Waller teaming with Austin Theory because I thought it was stupid. You'd think I'd be happy that they're breaking them up. But the fact that Triple H is taking so damn long into breaking them up, can I ask, why does Austin Theory need a 5-6 month build to him eventually finally snapping and turning on Grayson Waller? This sounds like something you could easily do within 2 to 3 weeks. 2, 3, 4 weeks. This sounds like something you could easily do in a span of a few weeks. Breaking up Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. This sounds like something you could do within a couple of weeks. Not 5 months. Not 5 months. Or whatnot. It's taking so damn long, and I feel like when Theory does eventually turn on Waller, fans aren't going to care. Fans aren't going to care because you're taking so damn long in doing it. Same thing with the New Day. They're taking so long and having Xavier Woods snap and turn heel. Sure, the New Day breaking up is a big deal, but you gotta understand, the tag team division needs more help than it needs. It needs more help. It needs help, not negativity. You can't just keep breaking up teams just for the sake of it. It's crazy to me how this is the whole thing of these tag team divisions. Back in the old days, like, you never saw the Dudley Boys break up whenever they lost the tag team titles or whatnot. Edge and Christian, like in the old days, like if you were a tag team, you were a tag team. Lance Kane, Trevor Murdoch, you were a tag team, you were a tag team. Paul London, Brian Kendrick, you were a tag team, you were a tag team. Back in the old days, if you were a tag team, you were going to be in that division. And you only break up if there was a draft, or if you felt like it was time to move these guys on. Now yes, Theory and Waller were both singles guys, and they were both randomly put together. If you were a tag team from the beginning, I feel like you should stay as a tag team. I guess that's the case of the Usos. But all I'm saying is, tag teams break up way too often. And this is why these divisions suffer and struggle, because you go through these efforts of building these divisions up and building these teams up just to go through the effort to break them up. I may not like A-Town Down Under, but at least they get TV time. I may not like Waller being with Theory, but at least it's giving Waller TV time. Who's to say when this tag team breaks up, Triple H puts all of his effort in getting Austin Theory over as a good guy and just leaves Grayson Waller in the dust. Just leaves him in the dust and do nothing. It's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to me. You need to keep teams together, not break them up. Which is why I get annoyed whenever people say they want to see Montez Ford become a singles guy. I'm like, no, I don't want to see the Street Profits break up. The women's division is the same. How many throughout all the tag teams that have been tag team champions in the women's division, how many have been legitimate tag teams? Mercedes and Bayley, the Iconics, maybe Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, Kabuki Warriors, that's 4. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. Four teams that were legitimate tag teams. Everybody else were just put together. Bianca and Jade, Zelina, Carmella, Aaliyah, Raquel, Liv, Ronda, Shayna, they were randomly thrown together. Shayna, Nia, Charlotte, Asuka, Alexa, Asuka. There's barely any tag teams in the women's division that have been legitimate tag teams from the very beginning, other than the possible 4 people I just named. The 4 teams I possibly just named. But if you want to take out Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, then that's 3. Then that's only 3. There are no stable tag teams. Like, if you look at teams like Toxic Attraction in NXT, teams like Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Oh yeah, I guess them as well. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, they're former tag team champions on the main roster. Completely forgot about them. Completely forgot they were tag team champions because it didn't last very long. But the point that I am making is that whenever they have a legitimate team, they always do not push them. They always push the random team they put together. You got Candice and Indy Hartwell, who are a legit team. Yes, they've both been singles superstars, but they are a legitimate team. So you'd rather push the teams that were just randomly thrown together than push the teams that have just been you'd rather push the teams that have been randomly thrown together than push the teams that have been an actual tag team from the very beginning. That's the thing that blows my mind. I feel like Bianca and Jade are only put together as a team because, they need them to do something. Because if they were on their own as singles competitors, they'd be floundering around and not doing much. I mean, come on, it's Bianca Belair. How could you not have any plans for it? Would I consider Io Sky and Kairi Sane a legitimate team at this point? Not really, because Io was a singles competitor. Io was singles, so was Dakota. Kairi and Asuka were the tag team. Dakota was filling in for Asuka when Asuka got hurt. Then Dakota got hurt, and now Io's filling in. So you can't really call Kairi and Io a legit team, because Io was a singles competitor before all this happened. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven aren't really a legitimate team. Sure, they've stayed together sure, they're still together, but even they're not a real team. They were just tag team champions just because Sonya Deville got hurt. That's the problem I have with today's divisions. They just do not utilize legitimate teams, and they always just randomly put people together. They randomly put people together, and then the 2 random people they get put together, they're the ones carrying the gold above their heads, instead of the real teams that have been there from the very beginning. That was one of the biggest problems that was one of the biggest issues that FTR had. That was one of the biggest problems with that FTR had. They didn't like that a real team like them were being underutilized over randomly thrown together tag teams. In the tag team division, if you're a tag team, you're a tag team. If they're singles, they're singles. That's how I think it should be done. And then you've got Gunther. And listen, I'm a big fan of this guy. He had a 666-day reign as Intercontinental Champion, and then after he loses the title in April, then we go from May, June, July, August. 4 months later, he's World Heavyweight Champion. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, we just got off him being a champion. Do we really need to see him champion again? This is going to cause the audience to get very, very bored of seeing the same guy champion. Triple H is just shoving this guy down the fans' throats. And listen, I enjoyed Gunther as Intercontinental Champion, but I gotta be honest, I'm not really enjoying him as World Heavyweight Champion. Not because, and it's not his fault, it's that Triple H just can't help himself and not keep the guy out of the title picture for a bit. He can't just keep the guy out of the title picture for a while because he just had a 666-day reign. And my God, his booking of Cody's title reign has also been abomination. The way Triple H has been handling Cody Rhodes' title reign is also pretty bad. 3 matches with AJ Styles, which were all fantastic. Now he's back in the Bloodline. We were just so sick and tired of Cody Rhodes feuding with the Bloodline, but instead he can't help himself. He's got to have him feud with Solo Sikoa and give Solo Sikoa a win over him at a pay-per-view just to set up a match between him and Solo at SummerSlam, which we all knew Roman Reigns was going to come back. It is atrocious. I hate it so much. I do not like how Triple H has been handling Cody Rhodes' title reign. And it bums me out because I really wanted Cody Rhodes to be the champion. I really wanted Cody Rhodes to be the WWE champion. But here he is barely doing anything with the title. He doesn't defend it as often as we, really want him to. Yeah, he does defend it more often than other people, but the point that I am making is that he hasn't barely done much with the belt. He's fought AJ Styles 3 times, fought Solo twice, and then just 1 match with Kevin Owens. It's crazy. It's crazy how he has so many repetitive challenges, where they really could have had him feud with Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Santos Escobar. There are some good options. It's just like what I watched in that video, where the guy said that WWE don't build up enough credible challenges, and that was the biggest problem with Rhea Ripley's title reign that everyone complained about. It's hard. You need to build up credible challenges. You need to build up credible challenges for these titles. But because they don't build up challenges, you just have the champions spending months holding a microphone in their hands, just involved in random segments, and then not defending their titles. That's the biggest problem I have. That is another one of the biggest problems I have. And my God, his booking of the women's division is absolutely terrible. Speaking of Rhea and Liv, their feud has been awful. A feud that people like me was excited for has just turned into nothing more than a Dominic Mysterio side chapter. Look, I knew Rhea wasn't going to win at SummerSlam. I knew Rhea wasn't going to win at SummerSlam because Dominic was always going to turn on her. That was always a given. But the mere fact that this entire feud has been all about Dominic instead of Rhea is an absolute travesty. Is an absolute travesty. It is. Bayley's title reign wasn't any better. Bayley's title reign wasn't great. Nia's title reign isn't fantastic either. Why should I care about Nia Jax as my champion when I know Tiffany is going to be the one to cash in? Liv Morgan's reign, though I was excited for, has not been great either. Why is Roxanne Perez the only women's champion in WWE that is actually generally having a good run? While the main roster champions for the women's division, that also includes Jade and Bianca, are terrible. Why is NXT actually showing how to book a women's champion? How is NXT able to show Triple H how to book a women's champion? It's ridiculous how Roxanne Perez is the only women's champion I genuinely care about, while Liv Morgan and Nia do nothing for me. Not even Bayley's run satisfied me. Her reign wasn't any better. It's crazy how Raw is 3 hours and Triple H can only muster one women's match, while AEW Rampage is only 1 hour and can have 2 women's matches. Think about that. Rampage is 1 hour and they have time for 2 women's matches. Yeah, SmackDown had 2 women's matches today. Cool, congratulations. Now give me 3 women's matches on a 2-hour program. But Monday Night Raw is 3 hours. 1 women's match. But Rhea and Liv had a segment. What's more important? I think it's more important that women have matches instead of segments. I want to see Rhea wrestle more. I want to see Rhea actually in the damn ring, kicking ass and taking names, instead of, this shit that she's doing with Liv and Dom. It's ridiculous. Triple H is not perfect. And it blows my mind how people just accept everything he does, and people are just like, well, Triple H has brought people back. He's brought the love back to WWE. That's why people love him. He's brought back people like Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. That's why people love him. He's given people that Vince McMahon fired a second chance. Yeah, great second chance for Tegan Nox, doing nothing but sitting in damn catering. Great second chance for Miss Nox. I am glad she is okay with just sitting in damn catering for a year, doing nothing. So proud of her. Second chance, please. Candice LeRae's barely done nothing with her second chance. AOP, they're terrible. I think the only superstars that have been doing well in their second chance has been Chelsea, Bronson Reed, and Braun Strowman. They're the only people that have been doing well in their second chance. Johnny Gargano. Look, Johnny and Ciampa were always going to get pushed because they were always Triple H boys. They have always been Triple H's boys. But it blows my mind how so many people say that Triple H has given second chances to have barely done anything noteworthy. The point that I'm trying to make is that Triple H ain't perfect, and people need to start realizing this. Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio in a goddamn shark cage is Vince McMahon level booking. If Triple H is so good like he claims, he should have put Liv and Rhea inside a Hell in a Cell. That's what he should have done. Put them inside a Hell in a Cell. But no, let's put Dom in a shark cage. Please. Give me a break. But regardless, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions on why Triple H is god-awful. He is nowhere near as good as people try to claim he is. You don't have to agree, and that's perfectly fine. And I don't have to agree with what you say either. Freedom of speech, we can voice our opinions. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing. It's all about respecting people's opinions. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to have my dinner now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.